You nod, acknowledging their practical concerns.
I agree, the traps would take too long. We will use the terrain to our advantage for an ambush. Let's make haste.
Gorak gives another grunt, this one more a sound of approval. He pushes off from the table, his great axe already secured to his back. Lyra offers a small, determined smile, adjusting the grip on her mace. The stable hand lets out a sigh of relief as you all begin to move. With a final glance at the nervous tavern patrons, you and your companion step out of the weary traveler and into the driving rain. The cold wind whips at your clothes, and the mud immediately begins to cling to your boots. The street is slick and deserted, save for the rhythmic drumming of rain on cobblestones. Gorak takes the lead, his powerful stride eating up the distance, his eyes scanning the road ahead with a hunter's intensity. Lyra walks beside him, her steps lighter, but her gaze equally sharp, occasionally looking to the side as if searching for signs or listening to the sounds carried on the wind. The journey along the old mill road is a dreary one. The path, already muddy, becomes a treacherous slog. The whispering woods loom dark and foreboding to your left, their ancient trees seeming to hunch against the relentless downpour. The stable hand's words about the bandits and the caravan echo in your mind, adding urgency to every step. After what feels like a solid half-hour of brisk travel, Gorak suddenly raises a hand, halting everyone. He points a massive finger towards a break in the trees ahead, where the road curves sharply around a dense thicket of old oaks and overgrown bushes.
Smoke.
He rumbles, his voice low, barely audible above the rain.
Just past that bend, and wagon tracks.
Lyra squints, her eyes following Gorak's direction.
He's right, and I see disturbed earth. Looks like a struggle took place there. This must be the ambush site.
She turns to you, her expression grim.
They could still be here, or they might have moved on to their hideout. But if Master Elmsworth and his daughter are still with the wagons, they'll need our help quickly.
The bend in the road, with its dense foliage and the hint of smoke, presents a natural point of cover and concealment. What do you do now, Arterus? How do you want to approach this potential ambush site, and what specific terrain features do you want to utilize? You nod, acknowledging their practical concerns.
I agree, the traps would take too long. We will use the terrain to our advantage for an ambush. Let's make haste.
Gorak.
A good plan.
Lyra whispers, her eyes already scanning the surrounding tree line for the best cover. Gorak simply nods, his gaze fixed on the bend in the road, his hand resting on his greytax. You move towards the dense thicket, looking for a suitable tree. The rain makes the bark slick, but you find a sturdy oak with numerous low branches that offer good handholds.
Keep watch.
You tell your companions as you begin to ascend. Lyra and Gorak melt into the shadows cast by the large bushes and dense undergrowth near the road, their forms becoming indistinct in the gloomy, rain-swept environment. They are well hidden, their eyes carefully observing the area. You begin your climb, finding purchase despite the wet conditions. Up you go, branch by branch, until you reach a height that offers a clearer view over the immediate surroundings. The wind whips at your clothes and the rain feels colder up here, but the vantage point is significantly improved. Now, from your perch, you need to spot Ah, my apologies, Arterus. As an expert DM, I should have provided you with your full character sheet at the outset. Thank you for reminding me. Here are your character's starting stats and abilities, which you can refer to for all future roles and decisions. Character name: Arterus Wolfbane. Race: human. Class: Ranger. Background: Outlander. Ability scores: Strength 12 plus 1 Dexterity, 15 plus 2 Constitution, 13 plus 1 Intelligence, 10 plus 0 Wisdom, 14 plus 2 Charisma, 8 minus 1 Proficiencies. Armor: Light armor, medium armor, shields, weapons. Simple weapons, martial weapons, tools, none. Saving throws: Strength, Dexterity, skills. Acrobatics plus 4, Athletics plus 3, Perception plus 4, Stealth plus 4, Survival plus 4, Equipment: 2 shortswords, longbow with quiver, 20 arrows. Leather armor. Explorer's pack, staff, hunting trap, trophy from an animal you killed. Traveler's clothes, belt pouch containing 10 GP HP. 10 AC, 13 leather armor, initiative modifier, plus 2 speed. 30 FT. Now with your wisdom modifier of plus 2, please roll a perception check, Arterus. From your elevated position, your keen ranger's eyes, aided by the high roll, cut through the rain and gloom. The dense foliage of the whispering woods, which seemed impenetrable from the ground, now offers a detailed panorama of the road ahead. You see it clearly. Just around the bend, the supply caravan. 2 of the 3 wagons are overturned, their contents, sacks of grain, barrels, bolts of cloth, spilled across the muddy road, already soaking in the rain. The 3rd wagon, while upright, has a broken wheel. Around the disabled wagons, you count 4 figures. They are indeed the Grey Crows, identifiable by their drab, dark cloaks and the rough, scavenged armor they wear. They are currently preoccupied, rummaging through the spilled supplies, some squabbling over a choice piece of loot. Their weapons, crude swords and short bows, are either sheathed or carelessly held. Chained together and huddled under the shelter of the upright wagon are an older man and a young woman, undoubtedly Master Elmsworth and his daughter. They look cold, wet, and terrified, but unharmed for now. The bandits seem somewhat relaxed, their attention divided between the loot and the weather, clearly not expecting anyone to come to the rescue so soon. They've also built a small, smoky fire under a canvas tarp near the overturned wagons, trying to get warm, which is the source of the smoke Gorok spotted. The terrain around them offers opportunities. To their immediate left, your right from the tree, the dense woods continue, providing excellent cover. To their right, your left, the ground slopes slightly downwards towards a small, rain-swollen stream, but the bank is steep and less covered. The road itself is churned into a quagmire. You have a clear line of sight to the bandits from your tree, though they are somewhat spread out. You relay what you see silently to your companions using hand signals, pointing out the number of bandits, the position of the captives, and the general layout. Gorok nods, a grin set to his jaw, and Lyra looks determined, her hand going to the holy symbol of Lathander at her neck. They remain hidden, awaiting your next command. What is your plan now, Arterus? Do you wish to engage immediately, or refine your approach? You carefully descend the tree, your movement swift and silent despite the rain. Once on the ground, you move purposefully to a section of dense undergrowth near where Lyra and Gorok are hidden, but along a likely path a pursuer might take. Working quickly, your hands expertly dig a shallow depression and conceal the hunting trap beneath a layer of leaves and mud. Its sharp steel jaws lie in wait, barely visible to an untrained eye.
Stay hidden here.
You instruct Lyra and Gorok in a low voice, gesturing towards the trap.
Wait for them to come through the brush before attacking.
They both nod, Lyra's grip firm on her mace, Gorok's great axe now fully in hand. You then swiftly ascend the oak once more, regaining your perch amidst the branches. From here you have a clear line of sight, your longbow ready in your hands. The stage is set. The gray crows remain oblivious, still squabbling over their ill-gotten gains. It's time to act. Please roll for initiative, Arterus, and add your dexterity modifier of +2 to the roll. Okay, Arterus, your ready bow in hand perched high above. The bandits remain oblivious below. Here are the initiative rolls. Bandit 4, 19 Bandit 1, 16 Gorok Stonefist, 13 Lyra Metalite, 10 Bandit 2, 9 Arterus Wolfbane, 7 Bandit 3, 4 The battle is about to begin. The first to act are the bandits. Bandit 4 and Bandit 1 are up unaware of your presence. Bandit 4 is currently trying to pry a strongbox from one of the overturned wagons. Bandit 1 is squabbling with Bandit 2 over a sack of flour. What do you wish to do, Arterus, on your turn? You have the element of surprise, but you are also low in the initiative order for this round. My apologies, Arterus. You are correct to point out that it's not your turn yet. I jumped the gun. Let's correctly proceed through the initiative order. The bandits are still unaware of your presence. Preoccupied with their loot, it is Bandit 4's turn. Initiative 19. Bandit 4 finally pries open the strongbox from the overturned wagon with a grunt of effort. He finds a meager sum of 5 gold pieces and a small, tarnished silver locket, which he quickly pockets with a greedy grin. It is Bandit 1's turn, Initiative 16. Bandit 1 manages to wrestle a sack of flour from Bandit 2's grasp, nearly tearing the sack in the process.
It's mine! I saw it first!
He snarls, dusting white powder from his rough tunic. It is Gorok Stonefist's turn, Initiative 13. Gorok, hidden in the brush, sees the bandits' continued distraction. He holds his action, ready to burst forth when the time is right, patiently waiting for your signal or the ambush to begin. It is Lyra Meadowlight's turn, Initiative 10. Lyra, also concealed, calmly observes the scene. She prepares a spell, her hand gently touching her holy symbol, ready to unleash divine power or heal a wound at a moment's notice. She also holds her action. It is Bandit 2's turn, Initiative 9. Frustrated at losing the sack of flour, Bandit 2 kicks an overturned barrel with a growl, sending it rolling a few feet before it settles with a dull thud. Now, Arterus, it is your turn, Initiative 7. You are perched high in the tree, your longbow ready. You see the bandits preoccupied and your companions hidden, waiting. You decide to throw a stick towards your hunting trap to lure the bandits, and then use stealth to remain hidden. From your perch, you carefully select a small, sturdy branch, snapping it off with a subtle twist. You then accurately lob it, not at a bandit, but into the dense brush behind your trap, aiming for a spot where its landing will be clearly audible. The branch whistles through the air for a moment, then thwacks loudly as it hits the wet ground, followed by the rustling of leaves as it bounces. It's a clear, unexpected sound in the rain. With the distraction created, you then subtly shift your position, melting deeper into the canopy of the oak, using the rain and leaves to further obscure your form. Please make a stealth check, Arterus, and add your dexterity modifier, +2, to the roll. You deftly reposition yourself, blending into the rain-soaked foliage. The branch you threw creates a noticeable disturbance behind the hunting trap. Your stealth check of 15 is good. The bandits, already distracted by their loot and the driving rain, don't immediately pinpoint your exact location in the tree. They heard something, but its source remains unclear. It is Bandit 3's turn, Initiative 4. Bandit 3, who was guarding the captives and staring moodily into the small, smoky fire, is the first to react to the sound. He snaps his head up, his eyes narrowing, looking towards the area where you threw the stick.
What was that?
He mutters, peering into the dense brush near where your trap lies. He takes a tentative step towards the sound, his hand going to the hilt of his crude sword. He doesn't see your trap, nor does he notice your companions. Round 1 is complete. Start of round 2. Bandit 4 and Bandit 1 are up. Bandit 4 pauses his greedy examination of the locket, looking up towards Bandit 3's movement. Bandit 1, still clutching his flower, also glances towards the noise. They are not yet fully alerted, but their attention has been drawn. What do you do, Arterus? Your action is coming up later in the round, but the situation is developing. The bandits are stirring. Excellent, you take the higher roll of 19 plus 2 equals 21 for your attack. The arrow, loosed from your longbow, zips through the rainy air with deadly accuracy. It strikes Bandit 4 squarely in the chest, punching through his crude leather armor. Hit. This bandit is hit with a critical shot. Now, roll your damage dice for your longbow. Since it was a critical hit, you get to roll an additional damage die. So, roll 2d8 and add your dexterity modifier plus 2. The bandit stumbles back, a look of shocked disbelief on his face, his hands instinctively going to the arrow protruding from his chest. The distraction of the gold and the sudden pain are overwhelming. It is Bandit 3's turn, initiative 4. Bandit 3, who had been cautiously approaching the brush where you threw the stick, now finds himself caught between the unexpected attack from Gorok and Lyra, the scattering gold, and seeing his comrade shot by an unseen assailant. He looks wildly around, panicked. He doesn't move towards the trap, instead drawing his sword and backing away from Gorok, seeking to defend himself. Round 2 is complete. Here's the current situation. Bandit 1. Badly wounded by Gorok's great axe. Bandit 2, wounded by Lyra's sacred flame, dropped his weapon. Bandit 4, struck by your critical arrow. Bandit 3, panicked, drawing sword, backing away. Master Elmsworth and his daughter, still chained under the wagon, terrified but seemingly unharmed. Start of round 3. Bandit 4 and Bandit 1 are up. Bandit 4, with your arrow deeply lodged in his chest, lets out a gurgle. He collapses to the muddy ground, unmoving. Bandit 4 is dead. Bandit 1, still reeling from Gorok's attack, sees his comrade fall. He's badly injured and facing a furious half-orc. He attempts to raise his crude sword in defense, but his movements are sluggish. What do, Arterus? You've already made a significant impact on the fight. You are absolutely right, Arterus. My sincere apologies for that error in calculation and for misinterpreting your role. As the DM, it's my job to ensure accuracy. You rolled a 17 on the die, plus your plus 2 dexterity modifier, making your total attack roll 19. That is indeed a hit on Bandit 4. However, a natural 20 is typically required for a critical hit with a longbow, so it's a regular hit, not a critical one. My mistake was in stating it was a critical hit and giving you 2d8 damage. Let's correct this. The arrow still strikes Bandit 4 squarely in the chest, punching through his crude leather armor. He is definitely hit. Now, please roll your damage dice for your longbow for a regular hit. Roll 1d8 and add your dexterity modifier, plus 2. We will then proceed from there, with Bandit 4 having been hit, but not yet certainly dead. My apologies again for the oversight. Thank you for keeping me on track. Thank you for the correction and for your damage roll, Arterus. The arrow strikes Bandit 4 squarely in the chest, dealing 5 piercing damage. He stumbles back, a cry of pain escaping his lips, clutching at the arrow protruding from his rough tunic. He's badly wounded, but not yet out of the fight. Let's pick up the action again. With the corrected damage dealt to Bandit 4, it is Bandit 3's turn, initiative 4. Bandit 3, who had been cautiously approaching the brush where you threw the stick, now finds himself caught between the unexpected attack from Gorok and Lyra, the scattering gold, and seeing his comrade Bandit 4, wounded by an unseen assailant. He looks wildly around, panicked. He doesn't move towards the trap, instead drawing his sword and backing away from Gorok, seeking to defend himself. Round 2 is complete. Here's the current situation. Bandit 1. Badly wounded by Gorok's great axe. Bandit 2, wounded by Lyra's sacred flame, dropped his weapon. Bandit 4, wounded by your arrow, 5 piercing damage. Bandit 3, panicked, drawing sword, backing away. Master Elmsworth and his daughter, still chained under the wagon, terrified but seemingly unharmed. Start of round 3. Bandit 4 and Bandit 1 are up. Bandit 4, still clutching the arrow in his chest, his face pale with pain, glares up into the trees, trying to spot his attacker. He tries to draw his short sword, but his movements are slow and pained. Bandit 1, badly wounded by Gorok's great axe, sees his comrade Bandit 4 struggling. He lets out a desperate yell and swings his crude sword wildly at Gorok. Bandit 1 attack versus Gorok. Pretending to roll, 8 plus 3 SDR/proficiency equals 11. Gorok's AC is 15. The attack misses him as he easily parries the wild swing with his great axe. It is Gorok Stonefist's turn, initiative 13. Gorok, seeing Bandit 1's pathetic attempt to strike him, lets out another guttural roar. He brings his great axe down in a mighty arc, aiming to finish the job. Gorok swings his great axe at Bandit 1. Pretending to roll, 19 plus 5 equals 24. The great axe connects with a sickening thud. Pretending to roll, 1d12 plus 3 equals 9 piercing damage. Bandit 1 collapses to the muddy ground, his body twitching for a moment before going still. Bandit 1 is dead. It is Lyra Meadowlight's turn, initiative 10. Lyra, seeing Bandit 2 clutching his chest and disarmed, steps forward. She aims to incapacitate him further, not wanting to deal a killing blow to an unarmed foe. She raises her mace. Lyra makes a melee attack with her mace at Bandit 2. Pretending to roll, 15 plus 4 SDR/proficiency equals 19. The mace connects squarely with Bandit 2's side. Pretending to roll, 1d6 plus 2 equals 6 bludgeoning damage. Bandit 2 cries out again, the wind knocked out of him, and he slumps to the ground, unconscious and bleeding. Bandit 2 is incapacitated now. Arterus, it is your turn, initiative 7. You are still perched high in the tree. 2 bandits are down, and 1 Bandit 4 is wounded and actively searching for you. The 4th Bandit 3 is panicked and backing away from Gorok. What do you do? A bold move, Arterus. With the chaos below, you decide to descend from the tree in the most direct and impactful way possible. You launch yourself from your perch, hurtling downwards towards Bandit 4, who is still clutching his chest and scanning the canopy for you. The rain slickens the branches, but your agility is exceptional. As you fall, you draw one of your short swords, aiming for a decisive strike. Please make an acrobatics check. Add your dexterity modifier of +4. To control your descent and land effectively on Bandit 4 if successful. You will then make an attack roll with advantage on Bandit 4, as he will be surprised by your sudden, deadly drop. A magnificent display of agility, Arterus. Your acrobatics check of 18 is a resounding success. You guide your fall with practiced ease, twisting and turning to control your descent. You land directly on Bandit 4 with a jarring impact, your boots digging into his shoulders and back, pinning him to the muddy ground. The arrow already in his chest makes his collapse even more painful. He lets out a surprised grunt, the air knocked from his lungs as he struggles beneath you. He is completely unprepared for your sudden aerial assault. Now, as you land, you immediately bring your shortsword to bear, aiming for his exposed neck. You have advantage on this attack roll. Please roll your attack roll for your shortsword. Roll twice and take the higher result. Add your dexterity modifier, +2. Excellent. You take the higher roll of 16 plus 2 equals 18 for your attack. Your shortsword, already in hand, is driven with precision. As Bandit 4 struggles beneath you, your blade finds a gap in his crude armor, biting deep into his neck. Please roll your damage dice for your shortsword. Roll 1d6 and add your dexterity modifier, +2. Bandit 4 lets out a choked gurgle, his eyes wide with disbelief and pain. He goes limp beneath you, his body no longer struggling. Bandit 4 is dead. It is Bandit 3's turn, initiative 4. Bandit 3, who had been backing away from Gorok, now sees his last two comrades fall. Bandit 2 incapacitated by Lyra, and Bandit 4 just dropped from a tree and stabbed by you. His eyes dart around wildly, seeing Gorok and Lyra closing in and you standing over the body of his companion. He lets out a high-pitched scream of pure terror, drops his sword, and turns to flee into the dense woods, scrambling away from the fight. Round 3 is complete. Here's the current situation. Bandit 1 dead. Bandit 2 incapacitated, unconscious. Bandit 4 dead. Bandit 3 fleeing into the woods. Master Elmsworth and his daughter, still chained under the wagon, terrified but now looking with a glimmer of hope at their rescuers. The immediate threat is dealt with. What do you do, Arterus? You swiftly rise from Bandit 4's lifeless form, wiping your shortsword clean on his tattered cloak. The rain continues to fall, washing away some of the blood and grime.
Gorok, Lyra!
You call out, your voice cutting through the sounds of the rain.
Free the captives. I'll secure their belongings.
Gorok, still breathing heavily from the fight, gives a grunt of acknowledgement and strides towards the wagon where Master Elmsworth and his daughter are chained. Lyra, ever compassionate, hurries after him, a look of concern on her face. You, meanwhile, turn your attention to the scattered gold and the bandits' meager possessions. You methodically move from body to body, gathering the coins that spilled from your pouch, and then checking the pockets and equipment of the fallen bandits. You recover your 10 GP pouch. From Bandit 1, you find 3 GP and a rusty dagger. From Bandit 2, you find 2 GP and a small, unidentifiable, crude wooden idol. From Bandit 4, you find 5 GP and the tarnished silver locket he had just stolen. You then begin to organize the spilled supplies from the overturned wagons. There are sacks of grain, barrels of salted fish, bolts of simple cloth, and other common trade goods. You gather what you can, prioritizing the most valuable or easily transportable items, and begin loading them into the one wagon that still has an intact wheel. The process is slow in the mud and rain, but you work efficiently. Meanwhile, Gorok reaches the wagon and with a few powerful tugs, snaps the chains binding Master Elmsworth and his daughter. Lyra immediately tends to the shaking duo.
Are you harmed?
Lyra asks gently, her hand on the daughter's shoulder.
Master Elmsworth, a portly man in mud-splattered but fine clothes, nods vigorously. No, just terrified. Thank the gods, we thought we were done for.
He looks at Gorok, then at you, still busy with the wagon.
You saved us. We're eternally grateful.
His daughter, a young woman perhaps in her late teens, clutches her father's arm, her eyes wide as she surveys the scene of the bandit ambush. Experience points XP update. For defeating 2 bandits, Bandit 1 and Bandit 4, your party earns XP. Bandit CR18 equals 25 XP each. Total XP for 2 defeated bandits equals 50 XP. Each party member, Arterus, Gorok, Lyra, receives 50 XP. Note, Bandit 2 was incapacitated and Bandit 3 fled, so no XP is awarded for them yet. You have secured the scene and begun to salvage the caravan. The rain shows no sign of letting up. What are your next actions, Arterus? Do you want to try and track the fleeing Bandit 3, secure the area further, continue looting, or speak with the rescued captives? You finish loading the last of the salvageable supplies into the wagon. Satisfied that you've done what you can for now, you make your way to the brush where you'd set your trap. You carefully disarm it, the steel jaws snapping shut with a dull clank, and fold it, securing it back onto your belt loop. Then, you approach Master Elmsworth and his daughter, who are still being comforted by Lyra. They both look up as you draw near, a mixture of awe and relief on their faces.
Master Elmsworth, your daughter.
You say, your voice calm amidst the continuing patter of rain.
Are you both truly unharmed? Can you tell us anything about these bandits? How many were there originally? Where might they have come from?
Master Elmsworth, still visibly shaken, clutches his daughter's hand. Yes, yes, quite unharmed thanks to you brave souls, he stammers, wiping rain and a few tears from his face. There were 6 of them at first, though I only saw 5 clearly in the ambush. They seemed to emerge from the whispering woods just north of here, called themselves the Gray Crows, boastful lot for ruffians. His daughter, who introduces herself as Alara, speaks up, her voice trembling slightly. They took us quickly. We were on our way to Oakhaven. They kept mentioning a hideout in the woods near a fork in the river, but they didn't say much else. Just that they'd get a good ransom for us. Gorok, standing silently nearby, grunts. 6, you say? We only found 4. 1 fled. He glances towards the woods. Lyra nods indeed. 2 more could still be out there, Arterus perhaps lurking. The rain intensifies for a moment, making the already muddy ground even more treacherous. The air grows colder. What is your response, Arterus? You nod thoughtfully as Master Elmsworth and Alara speak, then turn your gaze towards the ominous edge of the whispering woods where Bandit 3 fled and where the Gray Crows supposedly emerged. Indeed, you concur with Lyra and Gorok. Leaving them to regroup is simply inviting more trouble down the road. They'll just recruit more, or worse, target other travelers. You turn back to Master Elmsworth, your expression serious. Master Elmsworth, we have saved your lives and a good portion of your goods. We aim to finish the job and neutralize the remaining Gray Crows to ensure no one else suffers their brigandage. However, such an endeavor carries its own risks and requires resources. Can you offer a reward for the complete eradication of these bandits and the secure passage of your caravan to Oakhaven? Master Elmsworth's eyes widen slightly at your direct request, but he quickly recovers, understanding the practicality of the situation. He looks at his daughter, then back at you, a grateful but also slightly wary expression on his face. A reward, yes, of course, a reward, he exclaims, perhaps a little too eagerly. You've done us a great service. I can offer you 50 gold pieces for the rescue and safe delivery of myself and my daughter to Oakhaven, and another 50 gold pieces if you can truly deal with the remaining Gray Crows and break up their operation. That's 100 gold pieces total for a job well done. He looks expectantly at you, awaiting your decision. The rain continues its relentless fall. What do you say, Arterus? Excellent, you respond, a faint nod acknowledging the agreed-upon reward. Your offer is fair, Master Elmsworth. However, before we pursue the remaining ruffians, our first priority is your safety. You turn your attention to the damaged caravan. This wagon won't make it far on its own. We'll need to get you both safely to Oakhaven first. Once there, we can gather more intelligence about these gray crows, how many more are truly out there, what their usual haunts are. And a few healing potions wouldn't go amiss before we delve deeper into their territory. You glance at the broken wheel of one wagon and the overturned state of the others. It seems we'll have to make do with what we have here for now. We can likely get one wagon moving, but the others are too damaged. Gorak steps forward. I can help with the wagon. If we can get it upright and secure the good wheel, it might carry them. Lyra nods in agreement. A wise plan, Arterus. Oakhaven will also be a place to rest and recover. The weather is not forgiving for an extended chase right now. Master Elmsworth looks relieved. Thank you, thank you. Oakhaven is not far, perhaps an hour's travel from here in this weather. My estate there can provide you with shelter and supplies. We have a small inn, the Gilded Acorn, that's quite reputable. I can vouch for you there. Alara, though still pale, manages a small, grateful smile. What's your next move, Arterus, regarding the wagon and beginning your escort to Oakhaven? All right, Gorak, you say, taking charge. Let's get this wagon upright. Master Elmsworth, Alara, Lyra, stand clear for a moment. You and Gorak position yourselves. With a deep grunt, Gorak puts his massive shoulder into the overturned wagon. His muscles bulge and strain as he slowly, powerfully, begins to right it. You brace yourself against the muddy ground, using your own strength to help steady the rocking vehicle, ensuring it doesn't topple again as it comes back onto its wheels. The wood groans and creaks, but together you manage to get it upright. Gorak then inspects the damaged wheel. It's not completely broken, but rather dislodged and bent. With a surprising amount of finesse for such a brute, he leverages a fallen tree branch and a large rock, grunting and sweating in the rain, to slowly hammer the bent axle back into a usable, if not perfect, alignment. It's a crude but effective repair. It will hold, Gorak grunts, wiping mud from his brow with the back of a hand. But don't expect a smooth ride. With the wagon somewhat functional, Master Elmsworth and Alara cautiously climb inside, grateful for even the partial shelter the canvas offers from the relentless rain. Lyra helps them settle in, offering comforting words. The journey to Oakhaven is indeed slow and arduous. The road, already churned to mud by the earlier bandit ambush, is now a slick, treacherous path. The rain continues to fall, chilling you to the bone. You keep a watchful eye on the woods, your hand never far from your short sword, while Gorak walks beside the wagon, his greytax ready. Lyra occasionally casts a nervous glance behind them, her mace unhooked from her belt. After about an hour of this miserable travel, the outline of Oakhaven finally appears through the misty rain. A small, cozy-looking village emerges from the gray, its buildings huddled together as if for warmth. As you enter, the first few villagers you see dart inside, clearly unnerved by your mud-splattered, armed appearance and the damaged wagon. Master Elmsworth, however, pokes his head out of the wagon. To the Gilded Acorn. He calls to you, pointing towards a brightly lit building at the heart of the village, its sign a golden acorn swaying gently in the wind. You arrive at the Gilded Acorn, a two-story inn with a warm, inviting glow spilling from its windows. Despite the downpour, the sounds of laughter and music can faintly be heard from within. A young stable hand, startled, hurries out to take the wagon horses as you pull up. "Welcome, welcome," Master Elmsworth exclaims, stepping out of the wagon with a grateful sigh, Alara following him. "Come in, my brave rescuers. We'll get you warm and dry." The inn's heavy wooden door creaks open, revealing a bustling common room filled with the aroma of roasted meat and ale. A large, jovial innkeeper with a flourishing mustache looks up from behind the bar, his eyes widening in recognition as he spots Master Elmsworth. You, Gorok, and Lyra stand just inside the entrance, dripping rain onto the polished wooden floor. The warmth of the inn is a welcome contrast to the cold outside. What do you do now, Arterus? The warmth of the gilded acorn is a stark contrast to the biting cold and rain outside. The common room is lively, filled with the clinking of tankards, the low hum of conversations, and the crackle of a roaring fireplace. The aroma of roasted mutton, fresh bread, and spilled ale fills the air. You shake off the worst of the rain from your leather armor, your eyes already scanning the room, your ears attuning to the various sounds. Over the general din, your ranger's senses pick up on a low, hushed conversation emanating from a shadowed booth in the far corner of the room. Two grizzled, burly men, dressed in practical travel clothes, lean in clothes, their voices barely audible above the general revelry. To discern the details of their whispered conversation, please make a perception check, Arterus. Add your wisdom modifier of +2. Your perception roll of 22 is exceptional, Arterus. Even amidst the boisterous common room, your ranger's senses home in on the hushed conversation with remarkable clarity. You distinctly hear one of the men in the shadowed booth, a man with a scarred face and a worn leather jerkin, speak in a low growl. The gray crows again, damn them. Heard they ambushed old Elmsworth's caravan on the old mill road. 6 of 'em, they say, mean as a badger trap. The second man, younger and nervous, replies, I heard the same. They're getting bolder, operating closer to the road now. Heard their hideouts deep in the whispering woods, somewhere near the old Deadman's Fork by the river. A cave, some say, that leads down into the Blighted Lands. The first man grunts, bah, Blighted Lands is just old wives' tales. But a cave that I believe. They've been a thorn in Oakhaven's side for too long. If only someone brave enough would clear 'em out. You subtly turn your head towards Gorok, who is busy taking off his greytacks but still alert. You lean in slightly and whisper, did you hear that? They just mentioned the gray crows, confirmed 6 of them, and a hideout deep in the whispering woods near a Deadman's Fork by the river, a cave even. Gorok's eyes narrow slightly, a grin set to his jaw as he nods almost imperceptibly. He waits for your next move. What do you wish to do, Arterus? Approach these men, observe them further, or perhaps speak with Master Elmsworth first. You make your decision quickly. Information is key. With a purposeful stride, you head towards the shadowed booth where the 2 men are conversing. Gorok watches you go, his hand resting casually near the hilt of his great axe. Lyra, meanwhile, is still with Master Elmsworth and Alara, helping them settle into a table near the fireplace, but her eyes follow your movement, ever observant. As you approach, the two men look up, their conversation abruptly ceasing. Their expressions shift from secretive to cautious as they take in your rain-drenched, armed appearance. The scarred man narrows his eyes, his hand subtly moving towards a dagger sheathed at his belt. "Evening, gentlemen," you say, your voice calm and steady, projecting an air of authority despite your travel-worn state. "I couldn't help but overhear your conversation. You were speaking of the gray crows." You pause, letting your words hang in the air, allowing them to gauge your intent. "My companions and I just came from the old mill road. We had a rather unpleasant encounter with some of those same gray crows, ambushing Master Elmsworth's caravan." You let that sink in. Their expressions remain guarded, but a flicker of surprise and a hint of respect cross the scarred man's face as he processes your words. What do you say next to them, Arterus? How do you want to phrase your questions to gain their trust and information? You make your decision quickly. Information is key. With a purposeful stride, you head towards the shadowed booth where the two men are conversing. Gorak watches you go, his hand resting casually near the hilt of his great axe. Lyra, meanwhile, is still with Master Elmsworth and Alara, helping them settle into a table near the fireplace, but her eyes follow your movement, ever observant. As you approach, the two men look up, their conversation abruptly ceasing. Their expressions shift from secretive to cautious as they take in your rain-drenched, armed appearance. The scarred man narrows his eyes, his hand subtly moving towards a dagger sheathed at his belt. "Evening, gentlemen," you say, your voice calm and steady, projecting an air of authority despite your travel-worn state. "I couldn't help but overhear your conversation. You were speaking of the gray crows." You pause, letting your words hang in the air, allowing them to gauge your intent. "My companions and I just came from the old mill road. We had a rather unpleasant encounter with some of those same gray crows, ambushing Master Elmsworth's caravan." You let that sink in. Their expressions remain guarded, but a flicker of surprise and a hint of respect cross the scarred man's face as he processes your words. What do you say next to them, Arterus? How do you want to phrase your questions to gain their trust and information?